Hey, it's Sue. Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading for June 15th. And today I'm reading Psalms 9 through 16 from the World English Bible. Chapter 9. For the chief musician, set to the death of a son, a psalm of David. Let me read that again. For the chief musician, set to, quote, the death of the son, unquote, a psalm by David. I will give thanks to Yahweh with my whole heart. I will tell of your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praises to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they stumble and perish in your presence. For you have maintained my just cause. You sit on the throne, judging righteously. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. The enemy is overtaken by endless ruin. The very memory of the cities which you have overthrown has perished. But Yahweh reigns forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He will judge the world in righteousness. He will administer judgment to the peoples in uprightness. Yahweh will also be a high tower for the oppressed, a high tower in times of trouble. Those who know your name will put their trust in you, for you, Yahweh, have not forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to Yahweh who dwells in Zion, and declare among the people what he has done. For he who avenges blood remembers them. He doesn't forget the cry of the afflicted. Have mercy on me, Yahweh. See my affliction by those who hate me, and lift me up from the gates of death, that I may show all your praise, all of your praise. I will rejoice in your salvation in the gates of the daughter of Zion. The nations have sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid, their own foot is taken. Yahweh has made himself known. He has executed judgment. The wicked is snared by the work of his own hands. Selah. The wicked shall be turned back to Sheol, even all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten, nor the hope of the poor perish forever. Arise, Yahweh, don't let man prevail. Let the nations be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, Yahweh. Let the nations know that they are only men. And let me stop and say, that's what I believe is going on right now in this era that we're living in. At least at the time of this recording, I believe that God is making himself known to the world. I believe that this fear of God is becoming more known in the world. This sense of God's power and who he is, and just the awe-inspiring terror of the Lord. You know, it's very humbling, and yeah, that's what I believe is happening right now. Let me read that little part again. He said, up above, he was saying, make yourself, let's see, verse 16 said, Yahweh has made himself known. And then you scroll down more and it says, put them in fear, Yahweh. Let the nations know that they are only men. Selah. Chapter 10. Why do you stand far off, Yahweh? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In arrogance, the wicked hunt down the weak. They are caught in the schemes that they devise. For the wicked boasts of his heart's cravings. He blesses the greedy and condemns Yahweh. The wicked, in the pride of his face, has no room in his thoughts for God. I love that. Read it again. The wicked, in the pride of his face, has no room in his thoughts for God. His ways are prosperous at all times. He is arrogant, and your laws are far from his sight. As for all his adversaries, he sneers at them. He says in his heart, I shall not be shaken. For generations I shall have no trouble. His mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and oppression. Under his tongue is mischief and iniquity. He lies in wait near the villages. From ambushes he murders the innocent. His eyes are secretly set against the helpless. He lurks in secret as a lion in his ambush. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. He catches the helpless when he draws him in his net. The helpless are crushed. They collapse. They fall under his strength. He says in his heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face. He will never see it. Arise, Yahweh. God, lift up your hand. Don't forget the helpless. Why does the wicked person condemn God and say in his heart, God won't call me to account? But you do see trouble and grief. You consider it to take it into your hand. You help the victim and the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked. As for the evil man, Seek out his wickedness until you find none. Yahweh is king forever and ever. The nations will perish out of his land. Yahweh, you have heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause your ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed. The man who is of the earth may terrify no more. Chapter 11. For the chief musician by David. In Yahweh I take refuge. How can you say to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For behold, the wicked bend their bows. They set their arrows on the strings, that they may shoot in darkness at the upright in heart. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Yahweh is in his holy temple. Yahweh is on his throne in heaven. His eyes observe. His eyes examine the children of men. Yahweh examines the righteous, but his soul hates the wicked and him who loves violence. On the wicked he will rain blazing coals, fire, sulfur, and scorching wind shall be the portion of their cup. For Yahweh is righteous, he loves righteousness, the upright shall see his face. If you want to know more about God's throne in heaven and get a visual for what that looks like, besides what the Bible says, a good way to do that, I think, is to read about or listen to people who have died and come back, Christians who have died and come back. And you find that the ones that are sincere, the real ones, and there's a lot there. I'm talking about the ones that are, like I said, sincere, that are not occultic, abstract deceptions. The ones that actually went and were able to walk through heaven, and their stories all align. They're the same. Each individual experience is different, of course, but the descriptions of what they saw are the same. And I know one that has a large library of these testimonies is on YouTube, on the Randy K channel, Randy K. So if you want to hear a little bit about what these people say they experienced when they died before they came back, I find it fascinating. All right, for chapter 12, for the chief musician upon an 8-stringed lyre, a psalm of David. Help, Yahweh, for the godly man ceases, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. Everyone lies to his neighbor. They speak with flattering lips and with a double heart. May Yahweh cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that boasts, who have said with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? Because of the oppression of the weak and because of the groaning of the needy, I will now arise, says Yahweh. I will set him in safety from those who malign him. Yahweh's words are flawless words, as silver refined in a clay furnace, purified 7 times. You will keep them, Yahweh. You will preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side, when what is vile is exalted among the sons of men. Chapter 13, for the chief musician, a psalm by David. How long, Yahweh, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart every day? How long shall my enemy triumph over me? Behold and answer me, Yahweh my God. Give light to my eyes, lest I sleep in death, lest my enemy say I have prevailed against him, lest my adversaries rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your loving kindness. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to Yahweh because he has been good to me. Chapter 14, for the chief musician by David. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable deeds. There is no one who does good. Yahweh looked down from heaven on the children of men to see if there were any who understood, who sought after God. They have all gone aside, they together have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and don't call on Yahweh? There they were in great fear, for God is in the generations of the righteous. You frustrate the plan of the poor, because Yahweh is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel would come out of Zion, when Yahweh restores the fortunes of his people. Then Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Chapter 15, a psalm by David. Yahweh, who shall dwell in your sanctuary? Who shall live on your holy hill? He who walks blamelessly and does what is right, and speaks truth in his heart. He who doesn't slander with his tongue, nor does evil to his friend, nor casts slurs against his fellow man, in whose eyes a vile man is despised, but who honors those who fear Yahweh. He who keeps an oath even when it hurts and doesn't change. He who doesn't lend out his money for usury, nor take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be shaken. Last chapter, 16, a poem by David. Preserve me, God, for I take refuge in you. My soul, you have said to Yahweh, you are my Lord. Apart from you, I have no good thing. As for the saints who are in the earth, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied who give gifts to another God. Their drink offerings of blood I will not offer, nor take their names on my lips. Yahweh assigned my portion and my cup. You made my lot secure. The lines have fallen to me in pleasant places. Yes, I have a good inheritance. I will bless Yahweh who has given me counsel. Yes, my heart instructs me in the night seasons. I have set Yahweh always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my tongue rejoices. My body also shall dwell in safety, for you will not leave my soul in Sheol. Sheol, as I keep saying, is the place of the dead. So it says, for you will not leave my soul in Sheol, neither will you allow your Holy One to see corruption. You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. In your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. That's the end of today's reading. We'll see you tomorrow. Shalom, shalom.